Hello, everyone. I hope you're all having a great day, and thanks for joining us on this Wednesday. And today I want to talk to you about identifying powerful pullback signals. Now, a lot of traders know what pullbacks are, but there are many that aren't aware of what a pullback method is. So let me give you the standard pullback definition. In an overall uptrend, a pullback is either a large, moderate, or shallow, meaning a small sell-off. As we look here at this older chart of AMAT, we see here that we're in basically an overall uptrend, right? We're making higher highs, higher lows. Now, the pullbacks would be at these levels right here. These would be the most opportune places that you'd like to buy. Now, this conversely works the other way as well. So in an overall downtrend, a pullback is either a large, moderate, or shallow or small rally. So once again, looking at this older chart and OKTA this time, we see here that we're in an overall downtrend. We're making lower lows and lower highs. And the most opportune places to sell or go short would be at these levels right here on these little bounces or these little rallies. So one has to ask themselves, is there a strategy specifically designed to identify these high probability pullback setups? In other words, how can we automatically define and identify where they are? Well, this is what we're going to be talking about today, because there actually is, and this strategy or this pullback method is on our platform, the PTS Primo Charting Platform, that actually identifies these pullback strategy setups. So this is what we're going to be talking about today in this educational presentation. So welcome once again. My name is Steven Primo, President and Founder of Specialist Trading. If you're new to my webinars, as you can just see right in the last couple of seconds, we are all about educating you and helping you understand and define your place in the markets, because we feel that that's the reason why most traders fail. I've been trading now for 46 years. In my 46 years, I've met and traded with a lot of traders. And that is the one thing I've noticed that is really missing when traders fail. It's that they don't have the education. So what's the first thing you do when you don't have the education? First thing you do is you say, well, I haven't been trading long enough. I don't have enough experience. I don't feel confident enough. So I'll let someone else make my own trading decisions for me. So no doubt you've most likely gone to other webinars and seen how someone has a master strategy or a system that spits out these buy and sell orders for you. That's the way the entire industry is based on, so that ultimately you really don't have to do anything. All you have to do is go to this website, pay thousands of dollars, and they'll furnish you with the signals. You see, the only problem is, since the entire industry is based on that, you would think that the majority of all traders are doing well, right? They're consistent and successful. Unfortunately, it's the opposite. 80 to 85% of all traders fail. So obviously this does not work, this type of method. The only thing that works is when you make your own trading decisions, and when you rely on your own input and on your own expertise. And as I said earlier, a lot of traders feel they can't do that because they feel, I don't have the education, I don't have the knowledge. Well, that's where specialist trading comes in. In my 46 years, I've accumulated a lot of different techniques and methods. I've traded just about everything you can think of. I've traded up and down markets, straight up, straight down markets on my years on the trading floor. So I know what works in terms of consistency, and I know what doesn't. So that's what we teach our students around the world. And I'm happy to say we have students in over 115 countries and every state in the United States. We teach them things that work. So you'll see that attention to detail when we talk about identifying powerful pullback signals. Now, before we begin, as always, we are required by law to share this with you. So please take a moment to view our disclaimer. I'm going to share with you a lot of performance results using this powerful pullback method. But please remember that we can in no way guarantee that any of the results I'm about to share with you will be repeated in the future. And also, since we are first and foremost an educational company, all examples are strictly for educational purposes only. Now, if you haven't done so already, please follow us on Twitter or letter X, however you want to call it these days. Our handle is right there, abbreviation for Specialist Trading, at SPC LST-TRADG. If you'd like to get more education, free education on a daily basis, I post upwards of 5 or 6 different snapshots of strategy signals or little bits of financial wisdom each and every day. So there's lots of great free education on a daily basis. Please feel free to follow us on Twitter. Now, remember, we are not like the other webinars you may have attended. If you think today I'm going to tell you what the market's going to do, has it bottomed out? Is it going to go lower? Is this the perfect stock to buy? Is this the perfect stock to sell? What's the best time frame? Those are things you have to figure out. Remember, we've all been conditioned to have someone figure that out for us. I did myself when I first started trading 46 years ago. I was lucky enough to have some mentors that taught me the same way, the same style that I teach my students around the world. Basically, they gave me the information and things that worked, but then they wanted me to make my own decisions as to how to implement it. And so that's the way our philosophy and our concept of teaching works at Specialist Trading. So remember, a good mentor does not trade for you. My goal is simply to teach you how to trade with a specialist edge so that you'll be a consistent trader. Once again, in my 46 years, the only people I know that are still trading, the ones that are consistent, not the ones that had a good year and then gave it back, but the ones that are still consistent are the ones that make their own trading decisions. They don't go to a blog every day to read what someone likes or doesn't like. They don't listen to the guys on TV to find out what they're saying the market's going to do. They don't wait for earnings reports or economic reports. They have a method, a sound method in place that they trust, that they feel confident with, and they simply implement it. Okay, so we want to get you all to that place. Now, before we begin, once again, this is an educational presentation, so I want you to ask me as many questions, but I like to take the questions at the very end. I promise I'll get to each and every one of them, but please wait till the end to ask any questions. The only question I will answer is the most common one, and that is this being recorded? Yes, it is. If you have to leave early, or if you have technical issues and you can't see or hear me clearly, don't worry. Each and every one of you will be sent a link to this recording so you can watch it whenever you like, okay? So remember, if you have any questions, kindly wait till the end of the presentation. Okay, let's get into it. Let's begin. Now, we're going to be talking about pullbacks. And once again, let's go over this concept because pullbacks is a very common way to trade. It's a different style of trading. And to be honest with you, when I first started trading years ago, 46 years ago, I wasn't a pullback trader. I was young and ready for action. So I didn't want to wait for pullbacks. You see, if you're a pullback trader, you won't get as many signals as other types of trading where you just buy at the market and wait for things to go up. For a pullback, you kind of wait for these high probability setups. And so you won't get as many signals, but you'll be getting it at better prices. So as I've become older in my old age of trading now, I'm more attuned to being a pullback trader. So it's a certain style of trading. It fits a certain style of trader, but I would venture to say that most traders have at one time or another traded a pullback method. Now, here's the concept with a pullback entry. We'll just look at this from a buyer's perspective. The first thing is stage one. That's the beginning of a trend. Okay, so it doesn't matter what chart it is, doesn't matter what time frame, doesn't matter if we're looking at crypto or if we're looking at Apple, makes no difference. Stage one is you want to see the beginning of the trend. Now, what usually happens is that trend runs out of gas and stalls, and we go into phase two. This is where everyone thinks, okay, it's topped out. I went to that chat room and the guy says you got to get out and go short if you can, because now we're going to make new lows. But in all actuality, this is phase two. This is the pullback phase. This is actually a buying opportunity. So this is where you want to be looking for requirements to be met so that you can get in. Because usually what happens in a pullback setup, you go into phase three where it's the resumption of trend. So if we're buying at these requisites down here that all the rules are met, we're actually buying at or towards the lows of a sell-off before it goes up. And this is where traders usually fail because they went to a chat room and some guy told them we were topping out right here. So they exit their long position and it goes down for a little bit. And then days or even weeks later, they're making new highs. And you say to yourself, why did I sell? Why did I get out? Right? I'm sure it's happened to a number of you. This is why pullback traders wait and like to wait for these opportune times at lower levels when all the conditions are met to get in. And then they go into phase three, the resumption of trend. This is a very common pattern. This is a pattern actually that repeats itself all throughout nature. I mean, you'll see this in nature. Let's say, I mean, we're heading into fall. We're into the end of the year where it's, the climate is starting to get cooler now. But as you can see in many areas of the world, at this point in time, maybe you're already into the fall temperatures and you're hitting the 50s or 60s. And every once in a while, you'll see the opposite. Now, let's just say it's summer, okay, where we're going straight up with the degrees in summer. Now, the temperature is rising and rising, but then look what happens. The temperature starts to fall every once in a while in the middle of July or August. And this is where everyone says, wow, this is a weird summer. It's not too hot anymore. I guess summer's over. But that actually is just a pullback And then we always know that in August, even going into September, prices will continue, I should say temperature will continue to increase. The same concept is all throughout everything you'll see. You can even relate this to relationships. A very strong relationship in the beginning, all of a sudden it kind of runs out of gas, and then you start to fight or argue a little bit. Is that the end of the relationship? Well, no. If you work at it, you'll go into phase number 3, where the resumption of the trend. So it doesn't matter what you're looking at, whether it's stocks or relationship or the weather, you'll see this pullback concept all throughout nature. So it goes back to where we asked in the beginning of the presentation. Then is there a strategy specifically designed to identify these high probability pullback entries? Well, I'm happy to say, yes, there is. This is strategy number 9. This is one of our most popular as well as consistent pullback methods we have at Specialist Trading. So let me tell you about some of the highlights of this particular method. It's a buy low, sell high pullback strategy, meaning that we're looking to buy at the lows in the overall uptrend and sell at the high in an overall downtrend. It does this by a proprietary indicator-based concept, okay? Now, this is kept by proprietary, we mean we're keeping it inside. It's very simple. And it's extremely easy to qualify and know exactly when this happens. You can apply it to any market, any time frame, and any direction. Now, one of the best things about trading strategy number 9 is that you can actually use this for option timing. Because think of it. Say the market is going up and all of a sudden starts to go into a 2-3 day sell phase, right? Well, obviously, if you're an option trader, if you want to buy calls or some type of spread strategy with a bias to the upside, the premiums are going to be much less expensive. And that's perfect for option timing. Now, with all of our methods, we always ask our students to paper trade first. I know a lot of you will see this and say, wow, this is great. This is so easy. I'm going to become a student of strategy number 9. And then the first thing that happens is you jump in too quickly. You don't study all the rules. You don't research it. And you go into a series of losses. And you say to yourself, this doesn't work. But it's because you don't really understand it and paper trade it first. And most likely you're implementing it incorrectly. And that's what happens with most of our beginning students. Remember, all of our strategies, especially strategy number 9, are extremely consistent, meaning that there are a number of winners, but you will also have losses from time to time. That's okay. But a consistent method is one that's able to recoup those losses, often on the very next setup. And you'll see an example of that later on in today's presentation. All right, so let me go a little bit into strategy number 9 without giving it all away to the students around the world who actually have strategy 9. It employs 2 simple indicators. Now, their relationship to the price automatically produces the signals. Therefore, in an overall uptrend, buy signals will be generated during a decline. This is the pullback phase. Conversely, in an overall downtrend, sell signals will be generated during a rally. This is the pullback phase to the upside. Now, you'll know in the class, we teach you how to define what these phases are. So you'll know that it's not the beginning of a new trend. You'll know that through our course studies. Okay, so let me share with you the strategy number 9 trading process. Okay, let's look at that older chart. Remember, we started at the beginning of today with an MAT. Now, remember, we're in an overall uptrend, easy to see in hindsight, but how could we have bought at these lower levels, okay? Remember, this is where it's the most opportune place to buy at these lower levels before it bounces back up in the resumption of trend, right? Well, on our platform, as you can see here, click on strategy number 9, and in the drop-down menu, click on signal arrows. Once you know where the trend is and that you're in the pullback phase, click on signal arrows, and look at all these buys here that were generated right towards the lows, and right here, and right here. So you'll very rarely see strategy number 9 generate signals at the top. It's always generating them towards the lows. That's the beauty of a pullback setup. Now, let's look at that other chart we shared with you earlier in OKTA. Obviously, looking in hindsight, we're in an overall downtrend. Easy to see, right? But how could we have seen this in real time where we could have taken advantage of these opportune places to sell or go short? Well, once we know that we meet all the rules that we teach you in the course that we're in an overall downtrend, click on strategy number 9, click on signal arrow, and we can see here that sell signals were generated at or near the highs of this pullback area. So you see how simple this is. If you're the type of trader that likes to wait for these high probability areas to get in either at the bottom to buy or at the top to sell, strategy number 9 is a perfect method for you. Okay, so now you know the concept. Now you know how simple it is to apply on our platform. Let's share with you some current strategy number 9 examples. And remember, everything you're seeing today is displayed coming from the PTS Primo Charting Platform I developed with Pro Trader Strategies. It actually auto-identifies these pullback strategy setups. All right, let's start with some buys first, okay? Okay, so here we are. We're looking at a chart in FANG, F-A-N-G. This was coming into August. Now here we are going up, right? So it looks like we're in an uptrend. At this time, you say to yourself, well, you know what? I went to that chat room that I like to go to, and the guy says it's overbought. Look, we went right to the top here, and it looks like we're selling off. So most likely I want to sell, right? But if I click on strategy number 9, click on signal arrow, guess what? It's giving me a buy signal here, just off this small little sell-off. So this small little pullback is a shallow pullback. Remember we said either a large, moderate, or shallow pullback, or a small sell-off. So it's generating a buy signal right here. This was in mid-August, just about a month or so ago. And you could have made a quick 10 points, all right? Now in the course, we tell you different areas which you could exit, different ways. We have upwards of 6 or 7 different exit strategies. And look what happened. You had 10 points to work with, a nice profit in a couple of weeks. But as what happens so many times, all of a sudden, it started to falter. Now, is this time to get out? Look at all these days where we closed lower. So it's time to sell, right? That's obviously a bad sign, right? Well, clicking on strategy number 9, clicking on signal arrow. Actually, no, this is another shallow pullback, giving you another opportunity to get back in. You could have potentially captured another 6 points. So potentially you could have captured upwards of 15 or 16 points. Let's look at CEG. All right, obviously we're in an uptrend, right? But then look what happens here. We have a bearish engulfing pattern. If any of you follow standard or traditional candlesticks, that's a very bad sign, meaning there's most likely going to be a reversal. So once again, going back, we were in an uptrend. And if you were lucky enough to be long, or if you're in this stock already, most likely that's a sign, a warning sign that you should exit or place a stop in there tightly, because you don't want to be holding on to this position. The candlestick pattern is telling you that most likely we're having a reversal of trend, meaning we're going lower. So this is just a pullback. Even though it's selling off for a week or so, what we teach you in the course is how to identify the difference between an actual beginning of a downtrend and a pullback. And this is just a pullback. So what you want to do is click on strategy number 9. You would have seen that that was a buy signal. So where you would have been selling, our students were buying. And they could have potentially captured 15 points coming into September. You see, this is why most traders fail. You're on the wrong side of the market. When it's going down, you're selling, when you should actually be looking at that as a buying opportunity. But remember, it's not as simple enough as to know, well, it's going down. Steve says you should buy. You have to have the requirements that are all met. And that's all auto-generated on our platform with strategy number 9. All right, here we're in a clear downtrend in PDD, right? We're making lower lows, lower highs. So this is a clear definition of a downtrend. But actuality, it's not. It's a pullback. So this is a buying opportunity. This is not a selling opportunity, or where you should be out of the market. You should be looking to buy as long as the requirements are all met. And guess what? We had what we call a cluster of buy signals here. When you see signals that are right next to each other or close to one another, this is a high probability sign that it's going to be a big move to the upside. Not guaranteed, but a high probability sign. And then look what happened a week later, up 22 points. Here's an example in Amgen, all right? Once again, another downtrend, right? We were going up nicely, and now we're in a clear cut down. Look at all the days we closed lower, right? But actually, this is a pullback. This is a buying opportunity, not something you should avoid or stay away from. Strategy number 9 generated a buy signal right at the bottom of that pullback. This was just about a month ago. 35 points in less than a couple of weeks you could have potentially captured. And remember, you could have purchased calls if you wanted to with a low, a premium price because of the sell-off. It's up to you. Let's look at ODFL. Here's the pullback. Strategy number 9 generated a buy signal. And what happened? It didn't work out. It went up for a little bit, but not enough to give us that much of a profit, and then quickly went down. Using just one of our standard stop placements. We teach you, once again, upwards of 7 different stop placement methods. In this one, just a basic way to place your stop, you would have lost roughly about 12 points, okay? Not a small loss, but we're just being honest, that's how much you would have lost, depending on how many shares you would have bought. This is where most traders like to sulk and say, hey, this doesn't work, I want a refund. How come Steve promised me this was going to be having tons of winners? Well, we never made promises like that. We just say our methods are consistent. And consistency means that there's an awareness you will have losses from time to time, but a consistent method is one that's able to recoup those losses, often on the very next setup. Because as you can see, we're still going lower. Strategy number 9 generated a buy signal here. So rather than sulk in the corner, it's time to get back in, because you could have potentially made back that 12 points that you lost and then some more, because you had 45 points to work with in your favor. Okay, so this is what we mean by consistency. 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Let's look at charter, okay? Here's phase 1, the up move. Here's phase 2. This is where everyone thinks it's a sell-off, and here's where everyone thinks it's a downtrend. But strategy number 9 saw this as a buying opportunity because all the rules were met for a pullback buy signal. And look what happened. 37 points in the next week. Now, you had 37 points to work with rather quickly, and then another huge sell-off came. But strategy number 9 says, guess what? This is another pullback method. If you didn't get out with 37 points, you can get back in again here. And now you had a chance to make 48 points. This is how simple it is trading with strategy number 9. Okay, so let's go through the process once again. We're looking at ALGN. We've got a nice little rally going right here, right? Straight up. This is phase 1, beginning of the trend, beginning of an uptrend. Now, so many times we reach some type of a peak and we look like we're a little bit toppy and we start to sell off, as we're doing right here. This is where people say, hey, this stock has had it, I missed it. I'm going to get out, sell my position with a loss, or I'm going to look to sell short. But in all actuality, this is a pullback phase, phase 2. This is a buying opportunity. During this phase, you want to click on strategy number 9 on our platform and see if there are any buy signals being generated. Click on strategy number 9. In the drop-down menu, click on signal arrow. And we see that once again, we have a cluster of buy signals right here. Cluster of them. And guess what? The stock gapped up nearly 75 points. Phase 3, the resumption of trend. Now, obviously, it gapped up, as I say, almost every week based on some news event, right? Well, isn't it funny how strategy number 9 was already generating all these buy signals days in advance to get you in before that announcement came out? Now, none of our methods are based on fundamental news. I stopped looking at fundamental news 46 years ago when my mentor said, listen, Steve, unless you're investing in a company, you don't really need to know about the inner workings, about the earnings, about where the direction of the company is going. You just need to know that if you're an investor. But if you're holding things for anywhere from a day to a couple of months, you just need to look at price. And so I therefore stopped looking at fundamental news, even though I was in charge of making markets on my trading days on the floor in roughly about 50 or 60 stocks. In the beginning, I knew all about their earnings estimates and all about the CEOs and the company's direction. One day I just said, you know what? It's not working. I'm not making any money off this. So I'll just let it go. And I didn't start to become consistent until I stopped looking at news. Now, once again, you're free to do whatever you want. If you want to look at news, if you want to base your decisions off news, that's fine. But none of our methods, which are extremely consistent, have any news attached to them. They're strictly based on the one thing that I've been looking at for 46 years, and that's market behavior. So if you think you need news to be a consistent trader, I'm living proof that you really don't need it. I stopped looking at it over 4 decades ago, and I'm still trading, so there's really no need. And obviously, you didn't need to know about any news. It gapped up. Had you bought on that opening, you would have lost because it closed a little lower. But most likely, if you had bought these strategy number 9 signals, once you saw that you had about a 75-point gain, I think most of you would have exited and said, thank you very much. I'm going to take my 75-point gain. All right, we looked at buys. We can do the same for sells. So let's look at some current sell setups once again with strategy number 9. Here's one in Qualcomm. Okay, this was coming into last month. This is obviously an uptrend, right? Looks like we hit some type of bottom here. We're going higher. But actually, it's a pullback. So we teach you how to identify what the overall trend is. And in this case, the overall trend is down. And this is simply a moderate bounce or a moderate rally to the upside. So it's a selling opportunity. We don't tell our students to get caught up in buying this because you should be looking to sell. Strategy number 9, clicking on signal arrows, generated 2 chances to go short, to sell this, or to exit your long position. And look at that. And in about 2 or 3 days, you could have made a quick 10 points, okay? This was just about a month ago in Qualcomm. Let's look at BIIB, Biogen. Let's say that guy in that chat room says, hey, there's major support right here. We came to this Fibonacci level, or this is where all the institutions are buying. These are where all the banks are buying. So you got to buy here. And for the next week or so, it actually looks like we're in an uptrend, right? Higher highs, higher lows. But according to what we teach you in the course, this is not an uptrend once again. This is a pullback. This is a selling opportunity, not a buying opportunity. So we don't want you to buy here. We want you to look and see if there's a strategy number 9 signal or more than one. Click on strategy number 9, click on signal arrow, and we see here, yes, right at the very top, there was a sell signal generated. And in the next 2 weeks coming into October, you could have potentially captured 15 points. All right, let's look at Pepsi. Once again, we had a sell-off. This is phase 1. Phase 2 is the pullback. Strategy 9, I should say, generated 2 sell signals and a quick 7 points, okay? Now there was another bounce here, and then you had another chance to go short again if you missed that first setup, and then a quick 12 points. So you see, we were in an overall downtrend, and sell signals were generated right at these highs here before it went lower. Here's an example in Dexcom, DXCM, all right? Here's the sell-off. Here's the shallow pullback, meaning the small bounce or small rally. Strategy number 9 generated 2 sell signals, 20 points coming into October, okay? This just happened about 2 or 3 weeks ago. Let's look at ILMN, all right, Illumina. Once again, phase 1, we have the trend identification. We're going lower, where most people think, well, that's the beginning of an uptrend. This is actually just a pullback. It's a little moderate bounce. 2 sell signals were generated before we dropped 35 points coming into this month, okay? This just happened. How about ASML? All right, here's an interesting example of how you can change the overall trend. Now, we can't divulge how we do it here, but we'll show you how the strategy does this. All right, right here, the strategy was telling you that the overall trend is up. You're saying to yourself, how can you know that? Well, we teach you how to identify the overall trend is up. And strategy number 9 generated right at the bottom here 2 buy signals. And in the following weeks or so, just about a week, you could have potentially captured 70 points, okay? Now, once again, we teach you how to exit. We give you 7 different options of ways in which to exit. And look what happened after that. Another large sell-off down to these lows again. And then we kind of bounce and have a gap to the upside. Well, most traders would say, okay, well, it worked before. I bought down here. I'm going to buy again. No, because according to what we teach you in the course, the actual trend had now changed. And now we were in an overall downtrend. And now we're looking to go short or to sell. So strategy number 9 generated a sell based off this 1-day bounce. And look what happened, 65 points to the downside, okay? So we had 65 points to work with. You know, you could have taken a 10-point gain, or you could have taken a 50-point gain, or tried to go for more than 65. But look what happened after that. Another bounce. So this is where traders say, listen, okay, I've done really well, but you know, we're right here at this Fibonacci support level. That guy on TV says we should buy this now. It's come down too low. All the indicators are tremendously oversold. And look, we're starting to bounce up. I think I should go long. Well, what is strategy number 9 telling you? 2 more sell signals. This is once again a selling opportunity, not a buying opportunity. 100 points coming into October. So you see how strategy number 9 is so sensitive. It initially identified an overall uptrend, got you in at the very bottom, and then with the next sell-off, initiated sell signals because the trend had changed to the downside. All right, let's go through the process once again. IDXX, we're heading lower, right? This is phase 1, the beginning of the trend. In this case, it's a downtrend. All of a sudden, we start to bounce. This is where most traders say, hey, the downtrend is over. The good times are beginning again. Let's go long. Well, this is actually phase 2. This is the pullback phase because the trend is still down, okay? So now we're not looking at this to get long. We're looking at this as a selling opportunity. I don't care what anyone tells you. It's more advantageous as a selling opportunity as opposed to getting long, because if we click on strategy number 9, click on signal arrow, we had 2 sell signals right here towards the high. Now, if you had gotten long anywhere down here, you would have had to be quick to make, to make a nice profit. But if you had held on, you would have most likely given it all back. But guess what? If you had taken these sell signals, you had potential to capture 80 points in the next 3 weeks with phase 3 or the resumption of the trend. Okay, so you see how it's more advantageous to not look for these bottoms or tops, but to look for the pullback bottoms or tops because they're in sync with the overall trend. Okay, let's review what we taught you today. A pullback is either a large, moderate, or shallow sell-off in an overall uptrend, or a large, moderate, or shallow rally in an overall downtrend. So we're never going out of sync with the overall trend. It may appear that we're trying to buy at the bottom or sell at the top, but we're actually in sync with the overall trend. Now, strategy number 9 is a buy low, sell high pullback method. It does this by using a proprietary indicator-based requirements or rules. You can apply it to any market, any time frame, and any direction. And I just showed you how simple it is to apply with option trading because you're going to be buying at these lower levels or selling at these higher levels. That means the premiums will be less expensive, okay? Please, with all of our students, if you decide to become a student of mine in the strategy number 9 course, we always start off by requiring you to paper trade first. I know you saw a lot of amazing examples here that happened within the last 2 weeks or a month, but please remember, we don't just want you to jump in right away. You have to paper trade. Why? Because with consistency, there is an awareness that you will have losses from time to time. That's okay. But what you want is a method that's able to recoup those losses. How many of you have bought some master system or some strategy from some guy on the internet that says it never fails, it does well, fantastically, and it does well for a little bit, but then goes into a series of big, big losses. And you say to yourself, how much longer can I do this? I keep losing on every trade, right? That's not a consistent method. You don't want a method that does that. You want a method that's a 2-step forward, 1-step back approach, with the 1 step back being the loss from time to time, but then being able to recoup that loss. That's what all of our methods are, extremely consistent. So ask yourself as we close here, do you think pullback strategy number 9 can help your trading for the remainder of 2023? I think most of you will answer yes and say, yes, I could finish out strong using this. So because of that, we have a great attendee offer for all of you taking time out of your Wednesday today. We're going to offer you our strategy number 9, our powerful pullback trading special. You're going to get detailed video course instruction. You'll learn all of the different entries, all of the different exits, and all the different stop placements. Because remember, it's up to you to decide how you want to trade. Remember, I spent a good 5-10 minutes at the beginning of the presentation saying that you have to make your own trading decisions. Remember, not everyone trades the same. Some traders like to trade tons of times. Other traders like to trade once a month. So for that, we have different entries, different exits, and different stop placements so that you can pick and choose which best fits your trading persona. But you'll get the entire course rules. You'll understand the entire process. And this includes the strategy add-ons you can include to your platform that will generate the buy and sell signals, okay? Remember, you can apply strategy 9 to any market, any time frame. And this also includes a scanner. And you'll say to yourself, well, how do I get the scanner? Well, the way you'll get it is through this extra bonus. We're going to actually throw in for all the people that decide to become a student of mine in the strategy number 9 course, we're going to give you the PTS Primo Charting Platform. Remember, everything you saw today was produced using the platform and clicking on in the strategy number 9 tab, the signal arrows. Well, we're going to throw in a full year free if you decide to become a student today, okay? You're going to save over $1,700. That's a 35% discount, okay, in the total price that we'll be giving you. So even with strategy number 9, that comes with a host of all these different things, tips, and techniques I've accumulated in my 46 years of trading. Things like our enhanced buy-sell line that tells you the overall trend. You'll get the strategy signal scanner, which I just talked about. You won't get that if you're using your platform. You'll just get the buy and sell arrows. But with the PTS Primo Charting Platform, you'll get one-click access to the buy and sell arrows, also the scanner, also a strength of trend tool, a great tool that tells you if the trend has more steam left in it or if it's running out of gas. Auto-generated exit levels, another great bonus. With one click, you'll be able to see just one of our exit techniques auto-generated on the screen, and you'll see where these exit levels are, okay? Over 90 of the most prominent technical indicators, and this all comes with personalized tech support. So this is a great, great bonus that comes included with your purchase of strategy number 9, okay? Now, I know a lot of you say, well, Steve, this is great. I watched the presentation, but I don't trade stocks. I trade other markets. Okay, here's a 4-hour chart of the British pound. Now, this just happened in this past month. This was in the mid to beginning of September. Here we have the beginning of phase 1, the downtrend. Here's the little pop-up. Here's the pullback. Where most traders would have thought, well, this is the beginning of an uptrend. 2 sell signals were generated on a 4-hour chart. And then look what happened after that. 400 straight down pips. Look at this. Would you have liked to have been short the British pound? Okay, 400 pips. That's over $4,000 per unit had you taken advantage of that full 400 pip move to the downside. This was just in a couple of weeks. Or what if you're more of an investor? Okay, here's a weekly chart of the euro yen. Okay, same process. We have phase 1, the uptrend. Here's phase 2, the pullback. Here was a buy right at the beginning of this year, just about 10 months ago. You could have gone long using strategy number 9, 1,800 pips coming into August, September, okay? That's roughly $18,000 potentially you could have captured. So that's for currency pairs. What about gold, or I should say forex gold or the spot gold? Look at this, phase 1, downward move, phase 2, the upward bounce. We have the 2 sell signals, 85 basis points to the downside. This was just a couple of weeks ago. If you'd like to look at a weekly chart, here's a perfect example of the pullback process. Phase 1, the beginning of the trend on a weekly time frame. Phase 2, the pullback. Right at the very low, a buy signal was generated to go long gold in weekly gold in February. And phase 3, the resumption of trend, 250 basis points. So it makes no difference what time frame, makes no difference what market you're looking at, okay? A year from today, you will have wished you became a member of the Strategy Number 9 course. It's a great way to become acquainted with us. If you're not familiar with specialist trading, it's a great way to get started. Or if you're already, I see a lot of names in here that are already students of ours. If you're not a pullback trader and you would like to become one, Strategy Number 9 is a great extra pullback strategy course to have in your back pocket to trade. Okay, so let's break it down. Here's our next level pullback trading special. Remember, this comes with strategy number 9 and a full year of the platform. Normally, this would cost you, if you just purchase these individually, over $4,700. Here's the discount we have, because we're not going to charge you that at all. We're going to discount it down to $29.95. You're going to save over $1,700. That's a 35% discount. And on top of that, if you don't have the resources to come up with $29.95, that's okay, because payment plans are available for a limited time. So what exactly is a payment plan? Well, if you contact Pro Trader Strategies and you want to establish a payment plan for a fraction of that $29.95 discount, you can just put down a one-time payment, just a fraction of that, and establish a payment plan, and you'll be up and running as early as today. That's how simple it is to come on board with strategy number 9, okay? Here's how to take advantage of this, okay? Contact Pro Trader Strategies. They're my sister site. They're in charge of all of the pricing and the discounts and setting up a payment plan. They're also in charge of all the tech support and the data. They can answer any questions about the platform, and they can also take your order over the phone if you'd like. The best, in my opinion, the best way to contact them would be to call instead of the email. Call them directly right now. They have trading consultants manning the phones at 310-598-6677. They're there to work with you. They're very flexible. They can give you a quote, so you don't have to purchase anything. Don't feel intimidated like, well, I don't want to call. That means I have to buy something. No, they're there to work with you. They'll give you a quote. They'll tell you the best possible deal, and you can think about it and watch this video. Remember, all of you are going to be getting a link to this recording. You can watch it at your own leisure. The only thing I would recommend or suggest, as I state every week, is these offers are limited in time. They only last, I think, going up to the weekend or to Monday at the latest. So if you're truly interested in becoming a student of mine in strategy number 9, don't sit on in 2 weeks. So many students tell us that. They say, gosh, Steve, I wanted to become a student of that course. That was a great discount. I could have got a payment plan and put down a small deposit and still been up and running, but I waited too long, and now it's back up to like $5,000, $6,000, $7,000. That's what I mean. I mean, if you're really serious about this, watch the video, but get back to Pro Trader Strategies as soon as possible, okay? Now, I'm going to leave this information up here. That link you see at the very bottom is the link that will take you to the info page, as well as sign up. If you'd like to sign up online, you can do that as well. We just added that link to the chat box. So if you click on the chat box, you'll see that the link is loaded up there. If you have any questions, now's the time to ask. Go to either the chat box or go to the question and answer box, those little icons you see, and click them on and type your questions, and I'll answer them to the best of my ability, okay? Someone's asking, came in late, will there be a replay? Yes, there will be. Don't worry. That's why we record all of our presentations. So if you came in late and missed half of the presentation, you'll get a link. But as I stated earlier, if you're really serious about taking your trading to the next level, don't sit on this, because this will expire roughly by next week at this time, okay? Someone's asking, how do you know if a pullback has begun or if a change of trend has begun? Good question. This is what we teach you in the course. This is what we teach you. I can't divulge that right now, but we teach you how to identify what the trend is. We teach you all of that. And then it's simple identifying where the strategy number 9 signals are. It's indicator based, and it's very simple to apply. So you'll never have to go into a situation saying, I'm not sure if this is the beginning of a trend or if this is, a pullback. You'll know exactly what the overall trend is, okay? So once again, these are taught in the course. I just can't divulge that right now. It wouldn't be fair to the students who are already involved and members of the strategy number 9 course, okay? Someone's saying, great presentation. It's really appreciated. Oh, you're more than welcome. And remember, we are first and foremost an educational company. As an educational company, I just want you to see our sincerity that we really want to educate you, and that I spent a good time explaining what the pullback process was so that you could fully understand it. Most webinars you go to, they'll just say, hey, listen, look at these signals that are spit out for you. Just take them and you'll become a millionaire by the end of the year. We don't believe in that. We want to teach you so that you fully understand how to trade, so that you can ultimately make your own decisions. You can see our attention to detail and really trying to educate you on what pullback trading is, because there are different styles of trading. Pullback is just one of them, okay? Someone's asking, what if I have questions? If you have questions, you will get my personal email address. You can contact me whenever you'd like with questions. So it's not the type of thing where, like so many educators, they sell you the product and then they throw you to the wolves and say, good luck. You'll be able to contact me whenever you'd like, prior to the opening, after the close, during the weekend. I answer emails whenever I'm free. And if you have a question, if something is a little difficult for you to understand, don't worry. I'll get back to you as soon as possible, okay? So there's always ways to contact me. And as I always state, your emails don't go to an assistant of mine. They don't go to an intern. They come directly to me. I'm the only one seeing your email. So I'll answer everything personally, okay? Okay, good questions. Any more? Remember, if you really want to become attuned with pullback trading, strategy number 9 is one of our most consistent pullback methods. It's really a simple, easy process to do, as you just saw. And on top of that, we're throwing in the bonus of a full year of our platform. So I can't think of a better way to become initiated into pullback trading with this strategy number 9 special offer, okay? As we close and say goodbye to you, I just want to thank you once again for taking time out of your Wednesday. I hope you learned something. And most especially, I look forward to all of you becoming students of mine in the strategy number 9 course. Thank you so much for taking time out of your Wednesday. Hope to see you in class. Bye-bye and have a great trading day.